Hello, hello. Hey guys, I am Kimmi with Notary Life from Kimmi on YouTube. I'm also part of the training company Notary Educators, and today I'm going to talk about 8 things you should know before starting a notary business if you are interested. Right now, many people are interested in starting a notary business, but I want to go over a few things that you must know before you get started. So I'm just going to hop right into it, okay? The first one is you need to know that it takes time to build a successful business. I know you probably watched many YouTube videos and probably even some of mine. Sometimes we may make it look easy because we've been doing it for a few years. But it's not that complicated, but it will take you a little time to build a successful business, okay? Actually, it's more than 8 tips. So that's really one, to know that it's going to take time. Number 2 is I want you to know the notary business is not dead. I know you keep hearing all these stories and people in Facebook, they're selling their equipment and selling their paper. Some people even selling their ink pens and paper clips, okay? In Facebook groups. But believe me when I tell you, people will always need a notary. It's a 24/7 operation. It's not just something where it's fake or it's false. It really is a real business. It's an industry, and you have to treat it like a business, not just like a side hustle. If you're going to get out of it what you put into it, even though you buy all the training, all the equipment and everything, if you don't actually work your business, you have no business. So number 2 is just know that the industry is not dead. People will always need a notary. This industry has been around for thousands of years, okay? Right now, and again, I mentioned earlier, 24/7, people in hospitals, they can't go to the bank after 5. The bank is not going to them. And you've heard me say this many times if you're not new. But if you are new, some of the places that will need you to travel to them to provide notary services are hospitals, jails. Attorneys will need you to travel to their client if they cannot get out for some reason. People need a notary 24/7. So it just depends on how often you want to work. I currently work 9 to 5. Back in the day, I did 8 till 8 when I wanted to make even more money. So the more you're open, the more opportunities there are for you. And that's just real talk. If you only work from 8 to 12, then you know your opportunities are not going to be as much as someone that works 8 to 8. I'm open Sunday through Saturday, 7 days a week. Now, I'm not open 24 hours, but I'm open quite a bit. Number 3 is you must have a plan. You need to know right now, when you're starting your business, what do you want to do with the business? Don't just say, I'm going to be a notary and I'm going to make 6 figures. No, you need a plan. What does that plan look like? Do you want to focus on general notary? That's when people from the public may call you. Anybody may call you needing something notarized. Do you want to focus on the loan signing piece? And that's when you're mainly doing documents related to the mortgage industry. What do you want to focus on? And why is that so important to have a plan up front? Because if you only want to do general notary work, your investment is going to be a whole lot less. You may only need a couple $100s to get started. And to own your own business for $200, that's not bad. It's really not. However, if you want to focus on the loan signing piece, now we need to have more money because we have to have a printer, a scanner, ink, toner, maybe higher insurance levels. It's so many things involved, right? So you really need to have a plan before you start your business. Don't just go get your commission and say, oh, now I'm going to go make all this money. I'm going to go and make all this money. You're not. I promise you, without a plan, you plan to fail. Okay? The next thing I'm going to mention, which is number 4, is watch my free videos. I'm going to show you, if you have not already started watching my channel, subscribe, click, and all that good stuff. But I have over 300 videos. I take you, and a lot of them, a day in the life. I take you to hospitals. I take you to a jail signing. I show you how to complete different forms. And watch my channel so you can get a realistic view of what notary life is, right? I love being a notary. If you couldn't tell, I love being a notary. And I have a video about that too, so you can check that one out when you're watching the rest. but it may not be for you. Do you want to jump in and out of cars all day long? You know, do you want to talk to strangers all day long? Do you want to deal with pets, cats, dogs, lizards, etc. all day long? You know, you have to be very honest with yourself. So I have ways of trying to get around that because I'm not a big pet person. So that's part of my screening process is I ask them, do you have any pets? You know, so again, but if you have to think about all of that, is that something that you don't mind doing? You know, are you interested in doing the real and dirty? Because it looks glamorous. You know, we got our little bag on our shoulder, taking our little picture. Yeah, but it's real work. It's real work. You're in and out of the cars, the elements, the heat, cold, you know, rainy, snow. You got all these different things. I'm thinking about people like in Buffalo right now. This time of year, it's a lot of snow. How do they even function? I'm in the South. So when we hear the word snow, we shut down. I'm originally from Michigan, so I'm not afraid of the snow. I know how to do the snow if I have to. But my point is, think about all of that when you're thinking about starting this business. Also, the next thing you want to think about is having some basic training. When I talk about training, I'm not talking about training that takes hundreds of modules. Module 1 through 50 will talk about this. Module 50 through 100 will talk about that. And then you got to test out on every single module. It'll take you 2-3 years to be a notary. It doesn't take all of that easy. It doesn't take all of that either. It just does not. It does not take all of that. Being a notary is a serious job, but it's not complicated. And that's where we come in at Notary Educators. The training company I mentioned earlier. We try to make sure your training is very simple, clear, concise, and will get you started. Again, it does not take 100 modules to become a notary. It just doesn't. And 100 tests after each module. No, you need to know the basics of your notarial duties, and then let's get out there and make our money. The next thing is you need to know how to build out your business. What do I mean by build it out? Once you have your commission, once you know what you want to focus on, now we need to build the business, a foundation. What does that look like? How much are you going to charge your clients? How much are you going to charge if you go to a nursing home? If you go to a hospital? If it's just your regular run-of-the-mill notary, a little neighbor needs something, how much are you going to charge? How are you going to collect payments? Visa, MasterCard, Discover, cash only, debit, credit? What are you going to do as far as accepting payments? Now's the time before you advertise to figure out and build out the business. Do you have a receipt book? Do you have your supplies? How are you going to market? Even working on customer service skills, guys. You would think I wouldn't have to say this, but I have to. A lot of times people think as a notary, well, they're just a notary. You're just a notary. Well, you're not just a notary. You're a professional. You are a professional. People are entrusting you with their documents. Their properties that cost $200,000-$300,000. They're trying to make sure their will is in place, and they're trusting you with all of this. So you want to make sure that you have know how to handle customers, how to provide excellent customer service skills. And I just saw something the other day. It's funny. On a news channel I was watching, there's a lady out there that actually is teaching people, and it's a business, so she's not being fraudulent or anything. It's really smart that she came up with the idea to make it into a business. But she's actually teaching people how to answer the telephone. The new millennials and younger generations do not know how to work a telephone. They are so accustomed to texting. They just don't know how to even have basic telephone skills. So when I talk about working on your customer service, if you would want longevity in this business, that's the number one thing that will help you to continue to have work, no matter what is going on in the industry. When people like working with you, you will have business, because not only will they work with you, but they're going to tell their friends and family about you. Oh, use my notary. I know someone. And that's who you want to be, the go-to notary. So I mentioned supplies a little bit earlier, but I'm going to mention it in this full context right here. You need to have your supplies, your journal, your ink pen. I have a specialty journal when you start doing I-9s and apostilles in different parts of the business like that. But have your journal, have your supplies, have your ink, have your tape, have all things that you need. I have a couple videos on supplies, maybe one. I think I had two. I just can't remember right now, but I know I have one. And I know we talked about it on another Notary Mentor Mondays. We talked about what supplies we have in our bag. So I know it's two videos. But for sure you can find the one about how to properly have your bag set up and what kind of supplies you need. Also, your insurance. I would not drive a car without car insurance. Don't start your notary business going out there stamping papers and you don't have insurance. Would you drive a car without car insurance? Now, if you would, don't tell us now. We don't want to know. But we want you to be riding clean and out there stamping clean. Okay, you know what I mean? So you need to have insurance. Okay, what dollar amount is going to be based on your state requirements. You might even need bond insurance. I have a video on each one of those. That's called errors and omission insurance, so you can check out that video. And then bond insurance in case it's required in your state. So errors and omission insurance is for you, the notary, covers you, but the bond insurance covers the client. So all states do not require the bond insurance, and quite frankly, most states don't require the errors and omission, but you always have that. Okay, that's just a must. The next thing you want to have when it comes to your supply list is your state handbook. You must know what your state says about notarizations. In my state, I may be able to accept an expired ID. Can you accept one in your state? Can you notarize for a minor in your state? You need to know what your state rules are. Being a notary is a notary in all 50 states, but we all have just a little bit different, a few different rules that we must abide by in each state, completely different. Okay, so you're still a notary no matter what state, and your documents will come from all over the world, literally. As you start doing different parts of the business, which is going to be my next thing I'm going to talk about, apostilles. Those documents will come from all over the world. Colombia, Spain, Africa, Greece. They're going to come from all over. So you need to know how to properly notarize documents. And you need to know what your state handbook says about different type of ID you can take. Can you take a passport in your state? Can you take a school ID? These are things that you need to know. No one can tell you that but you and your state handbook. So you need to have your state handbook. The next thing I'm going to talk about is learning all the different streams. I think we're on number 8 or 9 because I didn't told y'all so many tips. But the next one is know what additional streams of income there are for you. As a notary, there's so many things that we can do. I promise you. You can do I-9s, apostilles, proctoring, collecting medical samples. It is so many things that you can do out there, okay? Administering oaths only. I have a video about that. Ink fingerprinting. I have courses and videos about all of the things I'm talking about. So just take your time, play around with my channel. And then last but not least, and the reason I want you, let me go back right quick. The reason I want you to know about all the different ways you can make money is because that's how you're going to have a sustainable business. If loan signings are not happening, so what? You know how to do ink fingerprinting. You know how to do apostilles. You know how to do this. You know how to do that. Having additional streams of income is important. Don't let nobody tell you that having more than one stream of income is not necessary. And it's so ironic to me, the people that say, oh, you don't need more than one stream of income. They have 5 or 6 themselves, but they tell you not to. Don't listen to they. Listen to me. Or listen to yourself, really. But my point is that I hear that all the time. Well, only focus and hone in on one thing. You need to know how to do everything. Now, will you learn it all at one time? No, and that's okay. You need to take your time. I didn't learn everything I know in one setting. It took me a couple years, and I still am adding additional services. I just added translation services to my business. I had my notary business for a few years now, and I just added that service. So as I continue to learn things, then I add it to my business. And that's what I recommend for you. But for people that saying, oh, just focus on one thing. No, the one thing will have you with no work. Okay? And I'm just being real with y'all right now because that really ticks me off. Here, somebody else got 5 streams of income, but they tell you to only focus on one thing. Does that make sense? Not to me either. So I tell you to do what I do. I don't tell you to do something different that I don't do, right? So I have multiple streams. I know how to do ink fingerprinting. I know how to do apostilles. I know how to do proctoring. I know how to do all these different things. But again, you won't learn it overnight, no more than I did. But that's why I'm able to have a business in the truest sense, not just a side hustle, because I've taught myself or I've taken classes and courses on how to grow my business. So this is a little lengthy video, but it's really for those who are really serious about having a business. If you need a side hustle, you probably didn't watch this all the way to the end. But if you watch it all the way to the end, I'm very sure that you're looking for a sustainable notary business, and it is still highly possible today. Well, again, I am Kimmi. I'm part of the Notary Educators. Check us out at notaryeducatorsllc.com for all of your training needs. Watch all of my 300 videos, not at one setting. I know that might be a bit. But watch all 300 because each one has tips in there. Get your notepad out. Get ready to get some gems. And let us be a part of your notary journey. It would be our pleasure. So again, I will see you soon. Much success out there. I know you got this. I know you do. You got this. Okay, bye.